there's always huge technological advancements, and if you don't go with it, then you're going to get left behind. To think about it, vinyls to CDJs, and then you have
Yeah.
fucking recording on tape to going onto a digital
Yep.
audio
Yep.
workstation. Like, who still records on tape now? I mean, maybe if someone does, it's like, whoa, that's kind of interesting. But man, like, who does that anymore? And it's like, no, you use a digital audio workstation or something like that. No one just records on tape and like screws up and recuts it and all that stuff anymore. Very rarely do people do that. And all these other artists are doing, like, creating like these really awesome tracks. AI is definitely not there yet. Will it ever get there? We don't know. Like, no one really knows where this is going to go.
But today's topic, we're actually going to be talking about AI, artificial intelligence. And I know there's been lots of speculations, at least in the electronic music world. It's going to ruin everything. It's, this is bad. In this episode, we actually want to highlight some of the benefits that artists can take with relevance to AI.
What I do really appreciate about the introduction of AI that we're having right now is the fact that I believe it's going to allow us to become artists again and less social media marketers. And I always found that a problem because I'm sure as all of us who have produced or even like playing sets or anything, you can get a lot of work done in 1 hour, whether you're making a song, recording a set, or anything that will push yourself as an artist. So when it takes me, or I'm sure many others, an hour to do a 15-minute reel or whatever it may be, I always feel that time is lost where it should have been given towards my art. So with AI, there's so much it can do for you for social media. There's AI that will top up your videos and create a reel for you. There's AI like Write Sonic that writes really great captions for you. There's AI that will do photography and everything else. So I think if we really utilize it, rather than being scared of it, might as well use it to your advantage. Roll with the punches and just make yourself even better with it. And that's what I've been trying to do lately, and allow me to go back towards my art.
Sure. Let's make sure that at the bottom of the video that we drop links of all the AI sites that you have mentioned or that you have discovered. I know you are continuously building a list and you're sending it over via WhatsApp. Even the first one, Chat GPT, I'm still kind of like entrenched in it. I'm still finding lots of ways to actually benefit myself as an industry professional and as an artist as well. I think one of the main things that people frown upon is that video that David Guetta did with Eminem's voice, and I think everybody just jumps into conclusion like, you see, this is why it's bad. People like David Guetta who have lost all of his music integrity over the last, hey, I'm gonna do EDM. Wait, Jack's back because techno's cool. Oh, wait, there's, the guy does not have any integrity towards this. I mean, I think it's more about attention and to getting as much exposure and be like, yeah, look, it's me, David Guetta. And I think that video really, you let any house and techno people see it. Anyone that's vibes with kind of our approach and the underground ethos will see that as a giant red flag. Like, you see AI's gonna start making music, they're going to replace ghostwriters, right? That we have, and every music coming out, we're not going to be able to tell if it's AI or not because they're smarter. They're smarter than humans, or they learn from us. And I'm just here to say that, like, I feel like creativity in general, original sounds, AI learns from humans. So if we're unable to push the boundaries, AI's limitations, at least for now, at least the creative limitations, is only going to go as far as what the most creative music producer has done so far, right? That doesn't say that, like, the technology changes, they understand the algorithms better, and they're able to push the boundaries. But I think, the integrity of music is so important that I think there needs to be a way to sort of make sure that any music that comes through that we're celebrating, there's an audit system to ensure that, like, hey, this is not done artificially. That's my only take on that. I think the benefits, like copywriting, right? Writing out your marketing strategy, type it in Chat GPT, hey, what's a good marketing strategy for my upcoming release? That's only done through banking, right? You can start figuring out all these things without having to take a course, without having to watch these videos. You could literally get the answer, or at least get some context via that. And I do encourage that all artists push towards that. There are even programs that help create video flyers, that create graphics. And back to what you were mentioning, it will give artists the opportunity to become more of an artist and less of their own administration and personal assistant. Your personal assistant is now AI, and they're able to help you either build your database, give you context, or just speed things up faster in your admin work that you have to do. Until you fully have a manager and an agent that represents you, that takes care of you, you still have to do a lot of the admin work yourself, including self promotion. So definitely check out the links below in terms of these AI tools, because I think that's a big win for artists being more artist driven and not having to wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything to add,
I just
Kevin.
want to add one thing. Yeah. It's just that don't be just, my point of view is don't be discouraged. You have two options. You could be discouraged and let that bring you down, or you could say, I'm going to learn what it does, and I'm going to, I'm going to evolve with it and take advantage of it in a sense, like to make your career better. So just don't be discouraged.
I want to add to that is also don't get too like entrenched either, because like the reason why I haven't gone fully deep into AI is because I feel like I would get fully entrenched. Like, oh my God, there's AI for this, AI for that. And I actually did go through that where I immediately shut it down. Like, you know what? Like, this is way too much. I don't know what to do with all this AI stuff. But I think one thing that you got to figure out is start to look at your workflow, your everyday workflow, your weekly workflow. Where's the bottleneck? Where are you like, man, I really dread this. I shouldn't be doing this. And ask yourself, where does AI come in? I know a lot for artists is copywriting. What do I write on social media? How do I thank someone, right? And obviously, if you plug that into AI, right? Hey, to write me no more than 50 words, thanking the promoters of the events or whatever has happened, whatever copy that you want to write. That was the biggest takeaway for me. And a lot of the videos that I actually now put out, the scripts are written by AI. I mean, I'm just reading it and I'm actually asking them what kind of tone to put it, right? For me, it's positive and empathetic. Those are two tones that I make sure that, hey, write a script that is both positive with a little bit of empathy, because it just represents me as a whole. So sharing with you how I'm actually using it to even just become a better industry person, to be able to get content and get context out faster.
Nailed it.
Yeah. No, for sure. And look, for you, Kevin, we have our meeting with content team in about 45 minutes. I mean, we really should look into that and see how all this can be to our advantage. Because at the end of the day, it's coming, and being scared of it, avoiding it, denying it, it's kind of like denying social media, right? Or people denied it for a long time, but time and technology comes at you fast. So
yeah, I also think it's kind of interesting and funny at the same time, because it's generally become a very big buzzword, AI, but people have been dealing with AI for years, and they just never called it AI. Like if you self-driving cars, Siri, these are all different forms of AI, maybe just not as advanced. These AIs now are more kind of quote unquote scary, because now they can create stuff, whereas before it's like you had to ask it something and it just knew knowledge or whatever, but it still figured stuff out for you and made suggestions. Whereas now it's kind of like, oh, I can create this on my own. But as Gino said, that's can be a really amazing tool for you to use. And we've had meetings before, and the content team that I work on, we've done a lot of articles and content on AI stuff, because it's a kind of a big scary thing. But if you think about it, just like what you guys were saying, there's always huge technological advancements, and if you don't go with it, then you're going to get left behind. Think about it, vinyls to CDJs, and then you have fucking recording on tape to going onto a digital audio workstation. Like, who still records on tape now? I mean, maybe if someone does, it's like, whoa, that's kind of interesting, but man, like, who does that anymore? And it's like, no, you use a digital audio workstation or something like that. No one just records on tape and like screws up and recuts it and all that stuff anymore. Very rarely do people do that.
Of course. And that was going to ruin music production forever, but people have adapted.
Exactly. And then like the big things about AI is also that it replaces people who are like the lower level type of stuff. I'm not saying that their work is lower level, but it's just like this, like they just make simple beats and they post it up and someone buys it from them. It's like that's for sure AI is going to replace that. But as far as like what Gino's doing and all these other artists are doing, like creating like these really awesome tracks, AI is definitely not there yet. And will it ever get there? We don't know. Like no one really knows where this is going to go, but I think the attitude, well, I didn't even think about it as an artist, like, oh, it frees up your time and space. Like, that's a great idea. That's a great point. But at this point, even without it, like, we're not really there yet where it's going to replace artists.
I mean, here's the thing. If, can AI produce a track where it's like, hey, look, drop it in the middle of your set, see if anyone figures out that this is an AI produced track? I'm pretty sure it will pass, as long as the mixing style, all that stuff is. But I think, that piece of track as an individual art, I don't think it would pass in terms of how do I say this? Like, it's like a piece of painting, right? You put together a wall of painting and like none of them are authentic, but one of them is fake. It's going to be hard to kind of capture like, well, which one is the one that's fake? And I think those that are trying to cheat the system is going to aim towards that. Like, dude, you're not going to be able to tell. But I do think that once we start putting the microscope into these individual tracks, it will make a difference. And I think we will be able to know what is truly an authentic, creatively produced track versus one that is made by AI. And again, we're recording this in March of 2023. This time, a year from now, it could be different. But I think the challenge now it goes back to the artist mindset and approach. Why do you want to be an artist, right? I mean, it's to create art, to give something that you created back into this universe, not something that you use a tool online so that you could quickly get signed and then quickly get booked. And if that is your intention, that is your approach, we talk about it. I mean, it's just gonna go. Yeah. And once you go through, obstacles, the bullshits of life, it doesn't last. It doesn't sustain if that is your intention going in to cheat the whole process and system. So I do think in the future there will be a checks and balance to ensure that things like this don't slip through the cracks. And look, there might be an artist that may make it through and then eventually be like, boom, he or she or they use AI and then they're canceled.
Look, I want to add one last thing. I say have the attitude of Jojo Mayer, pretty much my favorite drummer, probably one of the best in the world. And he drums like really cool experimental stuff and drum and bass and stuff like that. And he always said that his goal in life was to be better than the drum machine. And he's definitely achieved it. And so keep that in mind. At the end of the day, use it as a challenge. And so no matter how good AI makes music, I'm going to make better.
Yeah. And we can. Yeah, before Skynet takes over. But I do want to give a shout out to like
Skynet, yeah.
Terminator in general. Like that person, the creator of that, like just saw what was coming like years ago. Like I never really understood it when I watched it. Like, how did robots take over? Oh, okay, now.
Yeah, no, it's
we're living in it. Yeah, that's why outer space. Maybe that's where we should head. Get out of Earth. Just kidding. But that pretty much wraps it for this discussion in terms of AI. We love to hear comments and feedback regarding this topic. We are not experts. We are mere speculating and obviously giving our feedback, comments, and concerns, as well as the advantages of using it. So we do encourage to hear from the community. And Kevin, let's make sure that we're also including all the links that Gino have compiled so that we're sharing all of these cool AI tools and let the community decipher and choose which ones are the ones that will benefit them. Okay, that's it for this edition of Artist Map and Faculty of Electronic Music YouTube and audio podcast series. Be sure to like and subscribe. My name is Gio with 6 a.m. and Artist Map.
Atrox, Faculty of Electronic Music.
And Kevin with 6 a.m. and Artist Map.
All right, we'll catch you next time. Peace.